Hey, Sonogrover here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a kind of video I have not done in a while, and that is a work in progress video. I stopped doing it a few years back for different reasons, but I have decided to document my progress. I've been feeling a little bad that I haven't released as much music as I wanted, but I have been productive. I've been doing several tracks that need finishing, and this is one of them. This is called Dusk Among the Dunes. It's an electronic instrumental that runs about between 8 and 9 minutes long, give or take. I can't even really remember, but it's a longer one. And it did start with this instrument here, which I call Dunes, but well, you'll see. Anyway, let's just go ahead and have a listen, and you're actually going to just watch a little bit of my workflow, getting things taken care of. I'm actually working in the composition while presenting this to you on a video. So kill two birds with one stone, right? So let's take it away. So it's drifting in an asymmetrical meter. We are going through a meter of 2/8 plus 5/8. You can think of it as 7/8, but based on the accent that this kind of a percussive instrument is giving us, this percussive drone, it's got a feeling of like a 1 2 1 2 3 4 5. And it's meant to just be nice and relaxing. Maybe you can't hear it through the phone, but there's kind of this grainy, sandy, higher atmospheric texture that accompanies this instrument. Now you can see here, we're getting into another kind of instrument. Still ambient, as you can see. So you got these like alien voices singing, and I picture kind of just kind of a sci-fi landscape where it's kind of peaceful and happy, contemplative. It's not meant to be active at all, not until you get to the percussion, and even so, it's not too heavy. The increase in volume there actually was not my doing. This is part of a type of MIDI movement, a MIDI learning movement that shifted from one voice and traversed through different between 4 and 8 different voices, which you can do in Alchemy. Now we're getting into this group here. A lot of percussion instruments that I collected over time for this bigger section. So it's asymmetrical, you know, it's a compound meter, 2 plus 5, or if you wanted to say 2 plus 2 plus 3, but I think of it as 2 plus 5 based on the instrument. Now I will say that none of this is mixed. I think some of the instruments are partially mixed, but this is still very bare-boned. I have to add just a little bit more overall EQ, maybe a little bit of compression per kit. Basically, I have the instruments down, the structure down, and the level down. So this, this whole thing of percussion here, in blue here, is at a nice level between all of the instruments, which is one of the preliminary things that I do after structure. Yeah. Now we're getting into a new kind of soundscape. So we have strings here for the main melody. You can't really see it. It's not MIDI, it's audio now at this point. We've got, to be honest, I can't remember what Epic Cloud was. I'll remember another time. But we've got bass here. Yeah, I think think it's just like a kind of doubling of the bass. This epic cloud here. Forgive me, I've been in drums. So we've entered a little bit more active part with a little bit of change in melody, or really an extension of the first couple of phrases. I might add a layering voice, maybe a melodic voice of some kind, but nothing too much. And then we've got, I didn't show you before, but we've got some ramping up instruments. A couple of what you call suckbacks, which is a weird word, but it's a noise ramp going and then just stopping right before the downbeat. And so after that more heroic activity, we've got just a few long bars of just nice sustaining chords. I may add an upper voice, maybe the alien voice. I will add the alien voice actually comes a little bit later. But I kind of like the long drawn out chords. So it's just seconds of just sustaining chords. And I really have no problem with that. Now we are adding some percussion here. So a new thing of percussion. All of these instruments are from various drum loops. I don't use one drum loop. I use multiple, and then I select what I like about each of those drum loops and then create my own little thing. Drums and percussion have been really important to develop. And if you think that this sounds a little bit more symmetrical, this is because we're in 4/4 now. So we went from 2 8 plus 5 8 to a standard 4. 2 4 1 2 3 4. I hope you can hear this okay with my speaking. I tested the audio. Got some modal epic chords going, and I like to kind of expand the harmony with a higher voice and a lower voice, or more than a few voices. I start with small chords, and then I just kind of branch out, just like a scion or a tree that's branching out. I will probably bring that down just a little bit. It's a kind of topper. Again, there are no effects. This is not yet mixed besides just a gentle EQ. And then another hi-hat topper. So now we're getting into just a nice transition. We do have those ramped up percussion instruments. And then we're going to go back to the 7/8 or the 5/8 plus 2/8 or reverse that. So we're going back. It's a really an ABA structure. We've got this A melody, introducing the voices. It's a little hidden. Oh, it's more hidden. It's okay. I won't move my screen. But yeah, we have just a nice contemplative, little light, sandy percussion in the compound meter, the asymmetrical compound meter. Adding a few more instruments here, not a lot. It's not the same as, this group here or, this group down here. Just the A section is nice and contemplative. The B section is a little bit more epic, a little bit more heroic. And it just kind of tapers off. And maybe you can't hear it through phone speakers, but at the very end, that kind of granulated texture is the last to taper off from the instrument. So that's Dusk Among the Dunes. I have all the instruments I want. I love the percussion. I love the rhythm. And just to kind of show you what's going on. So the structure, this is too, maybe if I just put this down just a little bit, I can see it a little bit better. So what we have is a standard, well, not standard, it's not like a Western classical ABA form. It's not a sonata allegro form, but what we have is an A section, a B section that kind of expands a little bit into a C section, because this section here with the chords droning, they're introducing the new percussion. I guess you would count that as a C section. So A, B, C, A. That would be the form. So A being here, B being here, C being here, down here with the percussion, and a return of A with a lot more sparsity, I think. I think that's a word, right? So that's what I have. So I have the instruments, I have the structure. What I need to do, oh, and I have the gain. So I have checked, I think, all the gain levels I've needed except for these instruments. These are pretty soft. They're not going to reach maximum gain, because if I did that, it would sound horrible. But I do need to check their levels, just to make sure they're consistent. So we pretty much have the levels, the structure, some partial mixing with the EQ. But I do want to add energy. Energy to all the tracks, but I focus first on the percussion. And this will be just a very informal introduction. This is more like a demo. This is not meant to be a tutorial. I just pick up on tips as I go from different YouTube sources, different YouTube channels, people who are into the audio.